Good morning, everybody. What's up? We are still holding that sickness down a little bit, y'all. I feel about 95%, but I don't know about that much. Maybe 85% better. All right, we're getting our GPS set up, ready to roll. I got my clock running. Just got it going. Let's see. I don't think I actually saved my paperwork yet on here. So every time we get a load, they send us out the trip plan or whatever. Or I don't even know what to call it. Trip dispatch document. So every time they do that, it gives you the address, mileage, your rate, fuel surcharge, all that stuff. I print out I copy and paste each and every one of them on my iPad. So no matter what, I have some sort of database, because they won't hold it. They're not going to hold it in their system forever, or at least not on my end anyway. So I go ahead and screenshot all of it, so I have all the information I need every time. One of the things I do, I at least have my paper trail, our digital paper trail anyway. Let's see. All right. We are going to Georgetown, Texas today. Let's see. Copy address. I don't know what other truckers use. I use Trucker Path. I will use Google Maps on some things also, because I save a lot of addresses in Google Maps for just in case I may need to, go back to it as a reference. But I use Trucker Path all the time. Now, is it 100% accurate? No, just like yesterday. It wasn't 100% accurate on what I needed, but it worked. So I try to stick to that. So, topic I'm talking about today is, what would I do if I had to start all over in 2026? I feel like that's a good ground to talk on. It's been brought to my attention that same question's been brought to my attention here lately several times. If I had to start all over, man, I would do things a lot different. Crazy enough. And don't get me wrong, you learn where you're at. So you learn what you're doing, and you learn so many things at where you're at. But I still would do things a lot different. Just would. But anyway, we will get into that later on in this video. First things first, I gotta get this map set up. I need a bigger hard drive on my iPad. It's an old iPad. I bought this thing back in like 2019. Still works great. Still use it to every bit of its abilities. But it's old. I mean, it takes some crashes on the map sometimes on me. The storage is full right now, so it's like, hey man, how much do you want out of me anyway? So I'll have to go in there and create some storage. Give me just a minute. I'm gonna get out, do a quick walk around of the truck real quick, just a quick visual, and then we'll hit the road. So yep, we're going to Georgetown with this load. We're almost right at 4 hours down there, so it's a good little haul. I should get there around 8 o'clock or so, or around 8:30 probably. We'll be going through Corsicana area, all that. Yeah, we'll be going through Corsicana. Pretty much running, excuse me, the inner highways of Texas. No interstate running today. If you're new to the channel, my name's Ryan Benedict. I'm owner operator. One truck, one trailer. Anyway, if you been here before, you know how we start our channel. This is how I start my channel every morning. I give everything back to God because we need protection over him every day. To me, personally, I ask God to protect me and my family every day I'm out here. So Father God, we just thank you so much for loving us, God. We thank you for this business. We thank you for the ability to be able to do it, the knowledge to know how to do it. God, we just thank you for this truck and trailer. Pray that it performs as it should today. We'll pray safety around this truck and trailer, that anybody that drives near me or around me and everybody's safe on the roads today, God. We just pray that over us, a hedge of protection only you can provide, God. We pray a hedge of protection over my wife and kids today as they go off to work and school. God, we just thank you so much for loving us, God. We thank you for giving us this platform to show people about our days and what we do, God. We just pray for anybody that watches, that it may be a blessing to their lives. In Jesus Christ we pray, amen. All right, y'all, we're gonna slide out of here. I'm leaving a little later than I expected. I really wanted to leave a little bit around between 4 and 4:30, like 4:15, but it's all right. I got my alarm set at 3. I didn't slide out of bed about 3:20. Also edited a video last night, so I didn't get to bed till like 11 something. So not a lot of sleep, but part of the game. So we're gonna push off, and we'll discuss more in this video about if I had to start over in 2026. So let's hit the road, y'all. Pretty bad wreck on the other side of the highway, but here we are in a traffic jam on our side of the highway. I never can understand why a wreck on the other side of the highway jams up the opposite side. I mean, I understand people can't keep their head out of whatever's going on over there, but come on, y'all, let's go. So it looks like, to me, that another 18-wheeler rear-ended another 18-wheeler. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see in a second. Yeah, I believe that's what's going on here. Well, that shut down the whole freeway. Then there's another wreck up there. So that was kind of strange to see. That's why I thought that wreck back there was it. And I was like, man, that ain't very much for them to shut the whole highway down. This is, though. Oh, yeah. Be there in just a second. We'll check it out. Be nosy like everybody else. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Not even sure how that happened. God bless, man. Wow. Prayers for them, man. I did see on the side of that trailer it said Mexico. I don't care. I mean, I care about our industry letting people come from the border to deliver, but I don't care when it comes to that, man. I just hope everybody's all right. The thing is, like, this is the thing I didn't even know it took place a lot. I didn't know they allowed that many people from Mexico to come over here and deliver while they're over here. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought they delivered at the border and then somebody here took the loads. Kind of like what we doing, like if we go to Canada, we take a load over the border and they come get it. I don't know. Man, this whole interstate shut down over there. The whole feeder road, man, that's a lot of backup. I hate that, dude. That back truck didn't look like anybody could walk away from that very well. The driver was still in the front one, but anyway, prayers for them, man. Hope everybody's okay. Probably some jobs lost, if not, and hope everybody around it's all right. All right, see, I don't have a camera mount right here, so this camera's gonna bounce all over the place. Anyway, we'll catch back up when we get up here to the delivery. All right, we are at, what is this? Buildings First, whatever. Buildings First Source, yes. All right, we're gonna get checked in here in just a second. Get my ELD fixed here. We'll get checked in and get unloaded. Give me just a moment.
Tangoed up there south.
All right, cool guy right here in this lumber hauling truck. Does lowrider stuff, man. He talking about a big picnic in February 24th, February 21st, something like that. Down in New Orleans, man, it's cool. Not Unicoast, maybe? I don't know. Gulf Coast, something, I don't remember. But anyway, cool guy, super cool guy. We're sitting there talking lowriders and stuff. He's talking about mini trucking ain't dead shirt. I said, you're right. No, lowriders aren't dead either. You're right. Anyway, we're gonna pull around here. Okay, there's the pole. I was like, what's she talking about? Shoot right here, back up. Cool people, man. That's a cool group of folks right there. Look, I like to come places and everybody's got a good attitude. It's good to see, man. It's hard to see, man. A lot of people out here, man, no matter where they work, what they do, they ain't happy, man. They just ain't happy. We're trying to be happy. We're trying to spread positivity. Just enjoy the day, man. No matter what you got going on, we're all out here grinding to get something done, so no reason to put some negativity on. But he said he fired up for that show, man. Lowriders are so cool, man. That's where mini trucks started from, custom truck scene, to me, started from. Hot rods, kind of everything generated from hot rods. But the lowrider scene, that's something different, man. Those cats put so much into those cars. Like, we can build some stuff that's cool, but man, it's a different level when you're doing that. All right, I think he said pull up and then back in right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Try to get in this gap right here because I can get a little more length. I don't have to cut my trailer so hard. I try not to turn it too much just because I don't like to put so much pressure on those tires. We'll back in, unstrap, we'll give this paperwork to the forklift, and then they say once they're done, pull up there. But yeah, we got to come right back down here tomorrow. He had another load that went down to Houston, but I really didn't like the way that sounded. It was a little more money on it, but a few more miles. And usually when I go down to Houston, I don't get back to the house. And that would have been on a Friday. I'm not trying to be stuck out on a Friday at all. And it isn't that much more money. Like, listen, the one coming back up this was like $984. That one was like $1,100, which, I mean, there's a little more money there, but man, if you get stuck out, that value of that staying out ain't worth the hassle. It ain't worth it. So there's no like real lines where to back into here, so I'm just backing up wherever. I guess he'll tell me to stop when I need to stop if I get too far. So, but I think I'm all right. All right, let's go on unstrap right here, and we will get right back to you. All right, that was quick. Literally, I don't think I've been here 20 minutes, if that. Run up here, give her my paperwork, and we'll get out of here. And we'll get on this conversation. I thought we'd be here a little longer. Usually we're here, a little bit of time, so figured we'd talk about it. But we'll get down the road and hit the road and get. I don't think I'm heading back towards Temple because of that wreck. I have a feeling that wreck's going to be a while before they got that wreck cleaned up. So we will go an alternate route, but we'll figure that out once we get our paperwork done here in just a second. Get around this telephone pole real quick, or not telephone pole, but this yellow pole, concrete pole. Super fast, super efficient. I'll come back here anytime, man. I don't mind. I don't mind that, man. These guys jump right on it. Yeah, man. When I was in the dry van world, it never went like this. Now I know I've been in places with my flatbed that took forever to get loaded or unloaded, but for the most part in the flatbed world, I'm in and out or within an hour with a reasonable amount of time. Reasonable amount. There's some things in the dry van world, it wasn't reasonable whatsoever. Pull up, hit a dock, and I sit there all day long. It's like, y'all don't want this product. And these places, not only are they wanting their product, their inventory at the moment you give it to them. They're putting it down, they're scanning it, putting it in inventory. So, I mean, these are products that are going to sell. Most of the time when you're driving, you're delivering, unless, I guess maybe if you're delivering directly to a Walmart store or Target store or something like that, then that might be different. But other than that, you're pretty much delivering to a warehouse that's going to sit somewhere. Thank you, sir. Quit getting us out of here, too. Well, that wind's blowing. All right. We're unloaded. We're getting out of here. Getting out of Buildings First Source in Georgetown. This is the first one I've been to here. I haven't been to this one. I've driven by it. Go right by here going to another delivery. But quick, easy, in and out. I'd come back. I like people like that. They're real friendly. Everybody was nice. So anyway, if I had to start over in 2026 again, y'all, when I was on Truckillc podcast, he asked me the same thing. Same answer. I think my answer was a little misled a little bit when we started talking about it, but if I started over again, I would buy a little bit cheaper truck than what I did. I budgeted myself to a payment I could afford to have a nice truck. And I'm fine with my purchase. My Packard's giving me some issues here and there before, and I've had a pretty substantial amount of maintenance. When I first started this channel, I had a pretty big shop bill, and that one hurt. Still paying on it. Man, that was rough. That one was rough, but for the most part, man, it's been treated me pretty good. Not too upset about it. Oh, you wanted me to turn there? You look crazy, GPS. See, this is the times when you're like, I need to make my own decisions and don't listen to the GPS every time. Let me make sure it's giving me the right direction. Yep, it's still giving me the right way. Anyway, I would buy a cheaper truck. I told him I told Sebastian on there like 10 grand. I'm like 10 to 20 grand, more like 15 to 20 is probably my price range, because man, I've made enough in some weeks that I could have just about paid off that much of a truck, and I would have been already done and out of it and, you know, making cash. Yes, you will have maintenance problems on a truck that you're buying that cheap, but you got to shop it right. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about some vehicles than some people are, so maybe that helps a little bit, but I would buy probably 15 to 20 is what I would go for. I'd be trying to get 15 to 17 my best. Anything I could get that seemed pretty good in mileage, seemed pretty good on the road. You know, and the problem is driving one of these trucks bobtail, man, you don't know what they're gonna do when you get some pressure behind them, man. I know some trucks, man, that don't leak a bit of fluid until you put some pressure behind it, and then it finds every orifice it can. So that's a thing too. Sorry, I keep having to adjust the camera, but don't want it to fall over. This mount's not the best, but it works for now. Anyway, yeah, that's a thing that I would be trying to look for. Trailer, I would still go out and buy a $10,000 to $15,000 trailer. Trailers, you need a good trailer. My trailer, I got fortunate with the lady I bought it from. There was a couple things I bought. I mean, I still had to put some money into it, but fortunately, the trailer's been real good to me. Not really had any issues out of it, other than ABS modular that was about $4,000, and all the brake chambers was pretty rusted when I got it, so we changed those too. But maintenance stuff, you know, stuff you're gonna have to buy. I really wasn't planning on. I should have just bought a $15,000 trailer instead of buying one for 11 and putting 5 in it, so 4 grand in it. But anyway, either way, we did it. We got it there. I don't see any signs that I can't go this way, but looks like we're going into a little bit more. This ain't where I thought we was coming out at. Oh man, not a fun spot. Okay, I can use that mirror. Let's see. One moment. So yeah. Yeah, I would buy something cheaper. I would get into, I would probably should have, I would just go and get my MC and authority numbers. Probably wouldn't jump right off doing that. I would go get my feet wet with like a self-dispatch company, a Landstar, TRC Freight. I think even some of these other companies like, I don't even know. Some of these other companies do it also. You can look them up and see who does self-dispatching. But I would do that. Because that would get your feet wet on learning talking to brokers and learning to negotiate and stuff like that. That'll get you that knowledge you're going to need to know when you're coming to that game of dispatching yourself on flow boards, what you're worth, what you think that load's worth, what they think that load's worth, and meeting in the middle. And you'll learn negotiation a lot better. I've been really good at negotiation because I've been selling cars for years. Or buying and selling cars for years off marketplace. So I'm already good at negotiating, knowing what things are worth, what it needs to. And in the logistics world, you're going to want something, you're going to want a worth, and they're going to want to work because they actually had to buy that load before you ever get it from them. So they're trying to get as much money they're trying to get as much lemon squeeze out of it as possible, and you're just trying to make sure you get a whole lemon. That's really how it all boils down to. I think you're letting me over, or you're just turning, you didn't really care what I did. Anyway, I would get a cheaper truck and trailer, or cheaper truck, mainly trying to get that big overhead paid off first. Get that thing knocked out. Because, I've had this truck for 2 years now, I still have a payment on it. I could have probably if I'd have forecasted it better, I probably could have paid it off a little faster, but I tried to be conservative with it and keep money in my bank. You always want to keep cash in your bank, man. I'm glad I've been that way because I'd already be out of money from what I just made last year really good and kept us afloat through Christmas. Because if not, I'd have been having to do something real quick. And I struggle with this all the time with my dispatcher, which my dispatcher's great, but the loads that they give him to give me, I'm like, that's not worth it. This one's worth it. I like this. I like that. He knows how I want to run, but he also knows when he calls me, like today, the 2 loads that he had, what he was telling me about, he knew I wasn't going to love one, and one's a little better than the other. So I was like, all right, man, I'll take that one, which is the one that comes right back here. He knows my main goal is if the money ain't this much, I don't want to stay out. And he knows that my main goal is to be home anyway, but it's got to be worth it if I'm going to stay out. I'll stay out. I'm not one of the guys that just won't sleep in my truck. I'm not going to give you a fit for that, but I need to make that worth it. Because if not, I'm idling my truck, and it's going to cost me more money in fuel. Oh, that's a cool sign. If I had a camera, I'd flip it around real quick, but I'm not. It's like a painting. It says, welcome to Georgetown, like those sign paintings, welcome to the town or whatever. Anyway. Oh, wow. That's a cool church, too, right there. Southwest University. Anyway, yeah. If I started all over again, that's what I would do. Cheaper truck, get a trailer. I would lease onto a company that had that. I also would have, like I said, I would go ahead and get my numbers. So when I got ready to go, I'd have it ready to go. Insurance would be a little cheaper when you started because your numbers have aged a little bit. You ain't got no experience on them, so brokers aren't just going to email and call you left and right. But either way, you've got the age on the numbers, so the insurance will be a little cheaper. So when you get that going, you can jump right in and you'll kind of know where to pick up at. You're going to have some business stuff that you're not ready for. That was me the very first time. There's still a lot of things that you got to learn to file, and there's a lot to it. It's not, you're a business. You're starting a business. So, but that's what I would do if I was starting today. I'd buy a Freightliner Cascadia, 700,000-800,000 miles, manual transmission, and have it looked at. Take it to a shop, have them look at it. One of the reasons why I bought this truck is because the owner-operator lived right down the road from me. I looked trucks over, looked at truck lots and stuff. I've never been a big fan of going to a truck lot. They're just like a used car lot. They're getting used trucks and flipping them. Not hating the business. That's just how they do it. Excuse me. That's just how they do it. So they don't really know anything about the truck. When I found this truck, it was the owner-operator that was retiring, and he knew everything about this truck for the last 2 or 3 years. So I knew what he knew had already been fixed. it was 500, less than 500,000 miles, and he was in my price range of my budget. So, and he took super good care of this truck. I've used this truck worse than he did because I've run oil field with it, and I run this truck. I've done stuff like that. I've done stuff with this truck. It runs better now, but I say runs better. It runs great. But I've used this truck more than he did. He was light loads, hauling like East Texas to Dallas a lot. Basically what I do except drive-in stuff, and he didn't hurt it near as bad. Like I've put the brunt of the miles on it since then. Now this truck was originally a Montgomery transport truck, so it hauled heavy steel all the time. So I mean, I'm sure it made its way through Carthage several times at LP also, but for the most part it was hauling steel, because I think they haul a lot of steel out of Alabama over there. So, but I do believe, like I was saying in my last video, I believe that the market's going to change real soon. I think we're going to see a different market, and I think things are going to turn around a little bit. I don't see like some big massive change in the market to the point where we're going to make a ton of money, but I see the market getting steadily up a little bit. And I think a guy that bought, stepped into the game that was, moderately about this finances, and then run out and get $100,000 Peterbilt or something, he can make some moves. Once you get that truck and trailer paid for, now your cash flow is directly to you. You owe nothing to the banks. Your money is your money, and you can start to make your decisions out of freedom and not out of reaction or fear, or I got to do this, I got to do that. So I think you lease on with a company, and in 6 months to a year, you can have that truck and trailer paid off pretty quick, and you can be off to the races after that. You can either buy another one of those kind of trucks, or stack some cash up, put a down payment on one that's $40,000-$50,000, and have you a nice truck, put somebody in your other truck because you know it well now, and you can make money and have that truck running with making money also, to the point where you're that truck that you bought, the payments aren't insane because you had enough money to put down to combat that. So you get yourself in a better position financially, and then you climb up your ladder faster. I'm preaching to myself because I didn't start doing that, and I wish I would have. So anyway, let's see. All right, I think I know where we're going now. Trying to get out of Georgetown and get back to Carthage, but trying to get there in a moderate amount of time. Anyway, that's kind of my advice on it. If someone was trying to jump into this right off the jump in 2026, I think you would be successful if you went that plan. I think you'd be all right. You wouldn't have too much overhead. And man, I just watched a YouTube video yesterday. A guy, I think he bought a $75,000 truck, and he just hit the road. Now, granted, his situation was a lot different than mine is. He didn't have kids. He lived at home with his mom and dad, and it didn't matter. He just, he had the freedom to jump and run, man, and he did. He took off. He paid his truck off in like less than 2 years, I think, and trailers next, or maybe he paid his trailer off first, and then he paid his truck off. So in 2 years, he paid his truck and trailer off. It was just hustling, man. He'd come home like every 3 weeks, 3 or 4 days, and then go get it again. If I didn't have kids and wife and all that, I could do that too. So if you have that position, you can do that. It's really however you're at in life, how you can manage your money and how you can do that. So that was a lifestyle that he could do, and boom, he did it. So anyway, let's get out of Georgetown. We're gonna get back over to Carthage, grab our load for tomorrow, and then we'll head to the house. So I'll catch y'all here in just a little bit. All right, y'all. We are, just a little bit there. We're coming into Henderson, Texas right now. So, excuse me, man, this cough, it's like it goes in and out throughout the day. My voice goes in and out, in and out. We're about, an hour away from Carthage, picking up our load. So, some of the things I was thinking about as if I had to start in 2026, man, one of the most important things about if you're looking at starting this adventure as an owner operator, first and foremost, and this is thankful to my banker. I've known him for years. I've been friends with my banker for man, 20 years, I don't know, 15 years, I don't know, some long time. Honestly, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never gotten business in the first place, because I'd have had a hard time getting funding, and I'd have probably been too worried about trying to get funding, which is crazy because I'm more worried about not, like, I've never missed a payment at his bank ever because I don't want him to look bad because he let his buddy get a loan, you know what I mean? But anyway, one of the first things you should do before you even buy a truck, if you're gonna do this, go get your LLC. It's a huge deal. You need to get an LLC. A lot of people do sole proprietor and all that. That's fine if you want to do that, man. I don't know exactly when it comes to CPAs and how do you do your taxes with that. I just know you're so much more protected with an LLC. You look more professional with it. It's going to put you as a different entity. You're basically giving yourself a business social security number instead of you. It goes, everything falls, your truck falls under that, trailer falls under. My truck and trailer is underneath my business. If you pull up title for this truck, it's Benedict Trucking LLC. Trailer, same thing. And it's all owned underneath the business umbrella. So that's one thing I feel like everyone should do when you're doing this. I know so I was gonna buy the MC numbers from the guy I bought this truck from. I mean, he's been in business for 26 years. I would have been great to buy those because I'd have saved so much money on insurance. It had a lot of experience under those numbers. So, and not that would matter because they've been inactive for like 2 years. So that really wouldn't have mattered that much as far as me going out and jumping right on and getting loads or whatever. But either way, it would have helped a ton for insurance. But I was going to do that. Essentially, I can't do that because he was under a sole proprietor. Pretty much that's his numbers forever. If I was to get his numbers, I would have to buy his LLC, buy his business essentially, and then change my names and all that over. But I can't buy his numbers. So unfortunately, that's a part of the, like, when I create my own MC, it'll be underneath my business. So if I ever wanted to sell it, I'd have to sell my business to somebody, and then of course they can change the name of the business and change the name of the the numbers and all that later. But either way, that's one thing. On top of that, taxes, all the things, and you can put all your anything you buy, all your expenses can go underneath your business credit. You can put your credit cards in your business name, stuff like that. So it's just a thing to think about. Another thing, find a good mechanic before you even buy a truck. That would be a really good, thing to try to find beforehand. I went out to West Texas for a while, and I did my best to find a good mechanic. I found a really good, solid dude. Now since then, some things have changed with him. Like a buddy of mine's still out there, and he's had some problems with him. But on like the quick little stuff, man, I could be in his shop and out in 30 to 45 minutes on a repair that would have took 3 days at a big shop. And he was busy. He's always running and gunning, getting work done. But I could call him, hey dude, I got a leaky wheel seal. Come on over. And boom, he'd knock it out in an hour or two. And now I'm back in business, So, and now that I've been back over here at my house working locally, it's hard to find good mechanics. There's several mechanics here. Man, I'll be real honest with you. I wouldn't trust them to take my bicycle to them, man. They look very shady. They seem to have sabotaged me on one deal at one point in time. But I found a really good one in Lufkin, man. And he's really good with the PACCAR stuff. Another thing, buying a truck. Make sure you buy a motor that everybody can work on. Freightliner's got the Detroit platform. Most mechanics ought to work on Detroits and Cummins. There's some certified cat mechanics. Speaking of a cat, I think that might be farming equipment on that trailer. I was like, man, it looks like yellow and black, man. It's got to be a cat. No, it's a farming equipment. But Caterpillar motors, I mean, a lot of guys can work on them, but a lot of guys are certified for it too. You want to find mechanics that can work on these motors. the guy John I use in Lufkin, he has some pack cars in the fleet that he works on. He's got the programming for it. He knows them a little more than a lot of guys, and man, he's efficient with it. He's hooked me up and got me rolling in a matter of a weekend before, when it probably would have took me forever in another place. So one of the things that I had a problem with when I got back over here, I dropped this truck off to a shop that I didn't know if I should have faith in, but I used them once before when I was with Landstar, and I don't know, man, this thing hadn't seemed right with them. And either way, my truck sat with them for 3 weeks for them to hunt down a problem they couldn't fix. Then I took it to Peterbilt, and they took 6 weeks. So the repairs wound up being enormous. It was one of the worst repairs I've had on this truck. It was a ECM needed to be replaced, 2 wiring harnesses, all the knock sensors. It was a big deal, man. It was very expensive. And I don't understand what these people are doing. I never understand how some people drive. But anyway, it was very expensive. And really and truly, even if all that would have cost that same at this first shop, if it had been done in a matter of a week or two, I could have been back to making money. It's a time versus revenue kind of thing, you know? If I'm wasting a lot of time, I'm not making any revenue. I was down on my hands for well over 2 months almost, and man, and that was as soon as I leased on over here. I might have drove over here for 2 weeks before all that happened. So man, I had a loss of revenue for over 3 months, man. It was almost put me out of business. I was down to my last $700 in my bank account to pay the truck note, and if I didn't start driving after that, I was just gonna have to sell everything, and I didn't want to. I did that once before. I gave up. And I didn't say I give up. I got out of the business because I really wasn't prepared for business yet, and that was one of the things. This time I'm more prepared now than I ever was, and I'm just not gonna give up this time at all. Like, this is, I enjoy being an owner operator. I enjoy the freedom of it. I enjoy doing what I want to do, how I want to do it, not having a real boss. I mean, leased on, you still have a boss, but it's, you know, the way I see it, I have a 12% boss. So, and I'm gonna still run how I want to run. I'm gonna maximize my profit the best way I know how to maximize my profit. That's what I'm looking towards every time I'm doing this, because this is my truck, my trailer. Might be your freight, but I don't have to haul it, you know. So those are the few things that I would key on when it comes to getting into this game. Definitely, I would look more towards a Cummins or a Detroit motor. I have the PACCAR. I will say mine has, supposedly, with everybody's history of PACCAR, I have a 2016 model MX-13 EPA 13. Apparently, I'm the one. This year is the better year to have it. Apparently, I don't really know. A lot of these guys say I'm in kind of a sweet spot with this truck. This is the golly, they really want to not let me have that lane. But I'm in the sweet spot of this PACCAR that's not as problematic as some. I have 2 friends of mine that have EPA 17 motors, and they've had way more problems. One of them is done. Like, I mean, it needs a full end frame. The other one, I don't know how many miles is on his, 300,000 or 400,000. He's had a motor replaced already. He's had a bunch of little problems on top of it that just constantly cost him money, man. And knock on wood, mine hadn't done that much stuff. And then part of the issue when you're doing this, you gotta keep money in the bank. Just because you're drawing a check that's a lot larger than the one you used to make as a company driver does not mean, that doesn't mean all that money is yours. You're gonna have to pay taxes on it. Or at least you're gonna have to learn a lot of write-offs. Oil changes, tires, all that stuff, all your regular typical stuff is all write-off. With those big maintenance bills for sure. Your truck is a write-off. Trailer is a write-off. But you gotta keep money in the bank for anything that could go wrong. Tires, any of that kind of stuff, any death problem, any of that stuff. or at least have a credit card. And I'm not preaching use your credit card over every little thing, but it's a good safety net to keep a credit card that you don't use only for repairs. That'll at least give you that money. So when it comes time, use that card, fix it, pay that card back off. Now, we've done that. We're fortunate to have that ability. I started this business with with an 800 credit score. I'd never had a credit score that high before in my life. It's not that now. I'll be the first to admit I got more debt out now than I did when I got started, but I have the ability with this machine to pay that debt off. But I started with that, and I suggest if someone's going out to do this, you want to get your credit in order first. Don't get into this game expecting to fix your credit with this game. You want to start with the clean, at least have a clean slate of credit. You want some money stacked, but you definitely want good credit. Cash will always be king, but if you're gonna, unless you could pay for all this cash straight up, then I would definitely suggest you get your credit right. I listened excuse me, Interstate made me the other day. His I would call it a testimony of getting started. Super awesome, and it was inspiring. I couldn't do what he did, but I mean he just killed it for like 2 or 3 years as a company driver. Stacked over, I don't remember, I remember longer than that, about 5 or 6 years, I don't know. Stacked over $200,000, I believe. And he said he just lived on the road, man. He just never come home. And I don't know his family aspect. I think he has a daughter. I don't know, but kids and all that stuff, I don't know. But he just went out there and stuck his nose down and grinded it out. And man, that's what you got to do. You do got to do that kind of stuff. I'd spend 3 or 4 weeks at a time on the road when I was with Landstar. I would spend 3 weeks in West Texas when I was doing oil field. Now I'm pretty fortunate I can get home every night and still make as good of money as I did when I was in West Texas, to be honest with you. And a lot less expense also. When I was living over there, I was paying rent, food, all that was tax write-off, you know, or at least that's what we turned it into. You know, we gave it to the CPA. They can use it as however they want to use it, but get you a good CPA. Get you a real good CPA. Having a CPA is super important because you're now a business owner. You're not just a truck driver that bought a truck and trailer and now you're the owner-operator. You're a business. Another thing, a lot of these guys want to go out here and buy the nicest, prettiest truck right off the bat. At the end of the day, this thing is a machine to make money. I don't care what it looks like. I mean, you want to keep it nice and neat because, I mean, if not, DOT's going to be nailing you all the time. But this thing was built to make money, not necessarily just look stylish. I get it, you want a nice truck, but man, that's why I was saying, like, buy a cheap truck first so you can go ahead and stack your cash up. Sit back, make some money before you buy that pretty truck or whatever you want to do. Because then you've learned the game. You've got out here and you've learned the game. You know what to do if you got to dispatch your own loads. If not, you're leased on to a company that can get you the right stuff. You know how to run and make money. You know how to maximize your profit per mile. You know what operational cost is. All these things that you're going to need to know, you've figured it out. And then by the time you get that truck paid off and you're done, you're making cash, you're stacking it in your pocket, you're doing good, then you go out and buy you a brand new truck. Now, I ain't say brand new. I actually probably wouldn't go buy a brand new Peterbilt or nothing. But then you go out and buy that truck you really like and do a custom truck or big stacks and big bumpers, all that stuff. I get it, man. Believe me, I want one. At some point, this one will have big bumper and stacks and air ride on the front. I love building custom vehicles. That's one of the things I've been doing since I was a kid. So naturally, I'm gonna put that much in. That's why I got purple lights and stuff on this thing. It's accenting my personality with the truck. So eventually this one will have stuff done to it. And then eventually I'll have a long nose or something at some point. If I want, I don't know, we'll see. I want one, so eventually I'll probably have one. But it's not, right now this thing's gotta make the money that I need it to make. It's gotta feed my family, it's gotta fund my life, and essentially make money for me. It's my business. So just a little bit of advice that I would give anybody that's looking to get in this game. It's just kind of a part of the game you got to learn. It's part of the notch on the belt, man. Notch on the belt. I would suggest you find a good driver mentor also, or owner operator mentor. Definitely an owner operator mentor if you're getting an owner somebody that's been in this game even longer than me, I can share my experiences, but find somebody that's been in the game longer that can give you their experiences and kind of guide you in the right directions. I didn't necessarily have that. I got friends that are owner-operators, and I kind of followed footsteps with some when I first did it in 2017, and I did okay, but man, I wasn't ready for the business, so I got out prematurely. And I'm one of those people, I learned the hard way. I kind of baptized by fire kind of thing. I've always been that way. You could probably write it out and give me a blueprint of it, and I probably still would avoid what you did and try to do it my own way anyway, and that's my problem. I do not suggest doing that. I understand if you do, but get somebody that knows what's up, so when you do start going those times you're freaking out a little bit, you can at least lean on for some information. Because if you do, then you got at least, you know, I call it an encyclopedia you can lean on. I can teach you something. So, just my advice, just my opinions. If you've made it this far in the video, it means you're really interested in doing this. And means you're really trying to think about doing this anyway. And most time when you're looking at being a business owner, you're gonna have a hard time listening to people anyway. And I don't blame you. Because no matter what I tell you or someone tells you, you're gonna have to blaze your own trail either way it goes. It's your business, you're gonna have to figure it out. A lot of things are not gonna be the same as what I do, or a lot of things are not gonna be the same as the next guy. And that's okay, that's the whole point of it. You're doing your business, not mine. I can just help you along a little bit, but, and I'm more than willing to answer any questions, comments, email me, hit me up on my Instagram, Benedict Trucking. Anything, man. I'm more than willing to give information to anybody that needs it, and if I don't have the answers, I'll find it for you. I know plenty of people in the game, and yeah, by all means. But anyway, we're 18 minutes away from Carthage LP, and we'll get over here and we'll shut the video down probably by the time I start tarping this load. We'll do that too. Why not? Might as well put this on the video too. I don't plan on tarping here, even though it looks a little rainy. I do not plan on tarping at LP. We may go down the road a little ways, but anyway, let's get on over here and get loaded. All right, y'all, we are in Carthage. I'm gonna pull up. We got rain around us, but I think I can get out of here and tarp down the road. The rain looks like it's passed by here for the most part. And maybe, yeah. 3 o'clock, I'm watching the radar right now. 3 o'clock, and it looks like it's past us. I won't have a whole lot of time, but I will get tarped down the road. Give me just a second. Shelby's gonna pull. Oh no, he's gonna tell me where to park. Maybe. What's up, boss? 2. All right, he gonna put me in lane 2. Y'all, we are loaded up. Pulling out of here, we got to run down the road and tarp this bad boy, but that gets us out of here anyway. I had them loaded where I don't have to break my ladder out too, so I can just jump on the front too and get out of here. Excuse me. Okay, y'all, we're about to tarp this bad boy. Try to put probably put a time lapse on it. I got this magnet set up. We'll see if I can get a good wide shot of it. But We'll pull the mic off here in just a second. Thought I pulled far enough away. I guess not. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, we'll do a time lapse. By the way, let me show you. The rain's coming. So right now it is 3:30. That's where we're at. By 4, it's on top of us, basically. By 4:10, 4:20, it'll be passing us. But see what we got. So we got 30 minutes to get this done. All right, let's go. All right, y'all. So that's my covering. I got it covered. So at least, you know, if it starts raining right this second, my load's covered. That's my main thing. Right off the jump, if the rain's coming, you know, I don't want any rain to hit that material, potentially ruining the load. So that's my first thing I do right off the jump. So that's why I wanted like time lapse that, just because of that. Like just to give you, for instance, that's what I'm shooting for when all this like rain's on its way kind of thing. Because your main concern is to keep this load dry. I'm not paying for it. I don't want to pay for it. It ain't going to my house. So that's my main thing right off the jump. All right. Now, usually I would stack the 4 on top of the front, have it where I got to get up on it with a ladder, but I knew I was going to be in a hurry, so that's why I told him go ahead and do the 2. So this is going to change my whole tarp setup right here. It's not going to be as pretty, but I just wanted to make sure that I could get to it easier. So I didn't have to break my ladder out. One last step, because if it would have been raining right now, I'd have been screwed. I would have been screwed. So what I have to do here, this is where I'm not as good at it, is keeping this so tight, because this will be very loose. But you want to keep it as tight as possible, because the winds start blowing this thing around, it starts wearing your tarp. So I got a war spot in the middle of this one right here. I can see that, man, these tarps aren't cheap to just be wearing them out just because you didn't get it tarp tight, you know. You don't want to do that a lot. There's a couple holes in them in these tarps here and there, but nothing that'll get the material wet. So that's why I don't worry about it too much right now. Right now. All right. So I need to we want to try to get this up there. I'm going to try to do something with it. I don't know if this will work or not, but we're going to do it anyway for now, just to keep that held up there, and then we can work with it. Maybe suck this thing down tight enough where it'll pinch it, and then I can work with it. Maybe. We'll see. Same way on this side. The back part's the normal. It won't be any different than what I normally do, because it's normal height. But the front one, I knew I'd have a little more trouble with it, but like I said, it's covered. My main concern is to get it covered. You gotta watch out for these bungees. I have had a couple of them pop off and whack me right in the face before. We don't want that on video. I mean, somebody might would, but I don't. Not today anyway. So that's gonna be I'm not gonna love that, but it's gonna hold, so that'll be all right. Yeah, let me come get y'all and show y'all how much overhang's in the back. Whew. I appreciate all y'all for watching, if y'all are watching this long. I mean, we're already 8 minutes in just on this little segment. This is some of the to me, more interesting stuff. If I was watching one of these videos, I'd be more concerned with this than me just driving around talking. But I really was only planning on doing a vlog about, you know, what I do in 2026. But either way, I'd still be doing this. So, oh yeah, there's my plug out right there. Probably bounced out doing all this. So I got a lot of overhang back here, but I did that on purpose. So I didn't hang over, this tarp would hang over the front. So I did that on purpose. I don't love it because it's still gonna be a lot of roll up back here too, but it's a lot easier to deal with that than what we have in the front, I think. I don't know, maybe you're wrong. Because you don't want the tongue flying out either. I'm gonna hook one on each corner of this thing. Because you wanna, the underneath of this, you wanna wrap around it like a present. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna have some weird, we're gonna have a weird looking present right now. It's gonna be really close to each other, which is not usual. Usually it didn't this close, you leave it far enough apart, but that's because of how I did it. Let's come up here a little bit so you can pick up that bottom. We're just trying to get it started right now, so then we can start working with it as we get it tighter. Because I want to hold that bottom, that underneath side over. This is how you look, pop one. So you got to be really careful when you start doing it like this. Maybe this will stretch further. You never know. Some of them are stretched out pretty good already because I've done it enough times. Alright, it's not pretty, but that's it. That'll work for now. If it starts blowing around by the time I get to the yard, then we can fix it. But my main concern was to have it covered up and done. I really like to get it a little tighter than that usually, especially on these bottoms. If it starts raining real bad, I'll have to grab that and pull it over. Main objective is not to get on and off the trailer 5,000 times. Come on. Yeah, there we go. It's not pretty, not at all. Not even like nearly what I like to do, but we're gonna do it like this anyway for a minute. Or two. Here, I'll explain the rest real quick. We're gonna take the rest of these bungees, bungee all the way down it, tuck them up underneath there, and then we'll be done. So, we'll get this done. No reason to waste 15 minutes worth of y'all's life watching me do this. So, main concern was to show you what we were doing there, and we're done. So, I'll catch back up with you in a little bit. All right, y'all, it's tarped up. Get a good shot of it right here. Oh, man, I'm beat. No rain. It's just started sprinkling a while ago on me, so it's not pretty, but it's as good as it's gonna get, and the product's gonna stay dry. So, all right, y'all. Woo. Appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna end the video here. We're gonna head on back to the yard, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Thank y'all so much for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, please. All of it helps my page. If you just like and comment, that's awesome. I really appreciate anybody watching this long. It's gonna be a heck of a video. But I mean, I'm just trying to give everybody knowledge if they wanted to get into this business, what they may get into. And I mean, this is one of them. If you're especially flatbed doing lumber like I do, you're gonna tarp. Unless you're doing like this guy right here, he don't have to tarp his loads. That oil field stuff, you didn't have to tarp those loads very often. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. God bless y'all, and we'll do another one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.